Salem barely survived Monday, but Tuesday, September 23, turns the heat even higher. E.J. DiMera finally exposes his ruthless plan, trapping Stephanie Johnson in a dangerous game where one wrong move could ruin everything. Maggie Kuriakis unleashes her fury on Tony, determined to protect Victor's legacy as Titan teeters on collapse. At the same time, Alex, Philip, Brady, and Xander ignite in a family war that could end in ashes. And Chad DiMera's fragile confession to Kat Green may spark passion or peril. E.J. DiMera is not a man who reveals his cards unless he knows he's already won. On Tuesday, Stephanie Johnson will discover this truth the hard way. For days, she has felt the tension building, cryptic glances, unsettling silences, the unmistakable sense that E.J. is working behind the scenes. When he finally corners her, the mask comes off, and what he lays out is nothing short of terrifying. E.J. doesn't just want control, he wants dominance. His plan stretches beyond a simple deal. It's a carefully crafted strategy that reshapes alliances, bends reputations, and places entire families at his mercy. Salem is the chessboard, and E.J. has already decided where every piece belongs. Stephanie, to her horror, realizes she is one of those pieces. His words drip with certainty, delivered with that trademark DiMera smirk. He references her recent activities, even the bold alter ego she thought was hidden, Anastasia Sands. Suddenly, what began as a daring professional experiment now feels like a loaded weapon in E.J.'s hands. He knows too much, and the implication is clear. He can expose her or use her, whichever serves his ends. For Stephanie, the walls close in. She's already shaken by the unnerving presence of a stalker in the blackout, and now she faces a different kind of predator, one who destroys reputations rather than bodies. Her choices are agonizing: resist and risk E.J.'s wrath, or tread carefully, hoping she can outmaneuver him later. Viewers know one truth about Salem: when E.J. DiMera sets his sights on you, there is no clean escape. The only question is, will Stephanie become a pawn in his game, or will she find a way to flip the board before it's too late? While Stephanie wrestles with E.J.'s suffocating power play, another battle ignites across town, this time in Titan's war room. Maggie Kuriakis, Victor's widow and the unflinching guardian of his empire, finally unleashes the storm she's been holding back. And her target? Tony DiMera. Tony enters the conversation with his usual calm composure. He explains his latest maneuvers with slick justification, business logic, profit margins, calculated risks. But Maggie sees through the veneer instantly. To her, Tony isn't safeguarding Titan. He's twisting it into a bargaining chip, using it as leverage in DiMera games that have no place in Victor's house. Maggie's voice doesn't tremble, it cuts like steel. She reminds Tony that Titan is not simply a corporation. It is Victor's blood, sweat, and legacy. Every decision made under its banner carries the weight of a man who built it brick by brick, sacrifice by sacrifice. And Tony's reckless deal-making, which has left Xander and Philip cornered, insults everything Victor stood for. Her anger intensifies, no longer businesslike but deeply personal. She accuses Tony of dishonoring Victor's memory, of treating Titan like a trinket rather than a dynasty. The fire in Maggie's eyes reveals a side of her Salem rarely sees, the grieving widow transformed into a warrior, fighting not just for a company, but for her husband's pride. Tony tries to hold his ground, keeping his composure, but Maggie's fury rattles even him. The confrontation grows so heated it no longer feels like business, it feels like war. And Tuesday's showdown sets the stage for a bigger question. Will Titan collapse under DiMera interference, or will Maggie's firepower be enough to protect the empire Victor left behind? If Maggie and Tony's battle sets the tone, the showdown among the Kuriakis men turns it into a full-blown inferno. Picture it: Alex, Brady, Philip, and Xander locked in the same room, each man armed with his own vision, his own grudges, and his own claim to Titan. The result? An explosion of tempers that shakes the very foundation of the Kuriakis family. Alex sees himself as the heir of tomorrow, the modern mind who can drag Titan into a new era. He positions himself as bold, innovative, the man with the drive to eclipse his cousins. Yet his confidence is laced with arrogance, and it rubs everyone the wrong way. Philip, meanwhile, clings to the birthright he's been defending his entire life. Titan is in his blood, and he refuses to watch it slip through his fingers again. His tone is laced with bitterness, every word dripping with resentment at having to defend what he sees as rightfully his. Then there's Xander, the outsider, the black sheep who has fought tooth and nail for every scrap of respect. He's tired of being treated as expendable, tired of being underestimated, and he's not afraid to bare his teeth. His rage is raw, personal, and terrifying. Finally, Brady, usually the voice of reason, finds his patience shredded. He may not crave Titan for power's sake, but he won't stand by and watch it crumble under ego. His anger burns slower, but when it ignites, it is just as dangerous. Accusations fly like daggers, reopening scars from betrayals, lies, and failures stretching back years. This isn't just about Titan, it's about family history, personal pride, and the ghosts of their fathers and grandfathers. Tuesday's clash makes one thing clear: Titan is not just a company, it's a battlefield, and only one of these men can rise without the others bleeding. While boardrooms explode, Chad DiMera finds himself in a quieter but equally perilous moment, sitting across from Cat Green and laying bare the fears he's kept buried. Chad has always been the DiMera with a conscience, but that conscience comes at a price. Haunted by the deaths of loved ones, betrayed by family, and scarred by a legacy that demands ruthlessness, Chad carries a weight few can understand. On Tuesday, he finally lets it spill. He admits to Kat that he's terrified of love. Not because he doesn't want it, but because every time he's opened his heart, tragedy has followed. He fears trusting too quickly, fears investing in someone only to have the DiMera name drag them into darkness. To him, love is both salvation and curse, a gift that turns into a weapon the moment someone uses his vulnerability against him. Kat listens, her gaze steady, her posture calm. She offers sympathy, but more importantly, she offers silence, the kind that allows Chad's words to echo in the air, raw and unfiltered. For Chad, it is a rare relief, but also a dangerous one. Because intimacy, even in conversation, can blur boundaries. Kat may be offering comfort, but in Salem, everyone has motives. Is her compassion genuine, or does she see an opening to draw Chad deeper into her orbit? Their chemistry is undeniable. Every look lingers too long, every pause feels charged. And though the moment offers Chad solace, it also sets him up for risk. If Kat is a safe harbor, she could help him heal. But if she's not, then this vulnerable confession may be the very thing that undoes him. Tuesday teases a chilling question: is Chad walking into love, or into another trap? So, Salem fans, Tuesday, September 23rd, is shaping up to be a day of firestorms and confessions. EJ's sinister revelation traps Stephanie in his web. Maggie unleashes her fury on Tony in defense of Victor's legacy. The Kuriaki's men ignite in a family war that could leave Titan in ruins. And Chad bares his soul to Kat, opening a door that may lead to love, or heartbreak. But the real question is, what do you think? Will Stephanie outsmart EJ, or become his next pawn? Can Maggie truly protect Victor's empire from DiMera claws? Which Kuriaki's man has the strength to seize Titan's throne? And is Kat the bomb Chad needs, or another scar waiting to form? Share your theories below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more DOOL drama.